There are just certain meals that you want to make in the summertime. You don't really make them that much the rest of the year, but the summertime, it just screams for these meals. I've got 5 recipes for you today that are perfect for summer. Hey y'all, I'm Mandy, and this is Mandy in the Making. I don't know about you, but we love stuffed peppers, but usually you have to do it in the oven and heat up your whole kitchen. This recipe is Crockpot stuffed peppers. So easy, so simple, you'll love it. Bonus, you don't have to pre-cook your meat. It's gonna go raw into the stuffed peppers. I went ahead and cooked up a cup of white rice earlier, which makes 3 cups cooked, just in case you didn't know. If you wanted to make this even healthier, you could do 1 cup of uncooked quinoa in place of that. So just wanted to throw that out there. This is pepper jack cheese. I think I probably should have gotten 1 or 2 more bell peppers because some of these are kind of small. This is 1.5 pounds of ground chicken. That's just how it came from Butcher Box. So I'm not gonna use the entire thing. We only need about 1 pound. So I'm gonna save the other half and cook that up for some lunch tomorrow. I'm gonna slice the tops off. I wanna slice as little as possible off of the top, just so that I have enough room to stuff these really well. And then I'm gonna go through and just cut out the ribs and seeds. There we go. Now to this large bowl, I have 1 pound of ground chicken. You could definitely use lean ground beef or turkey if you wanted to. To this, I'm gonna add 1 can of black beans that I drained and rinsed. We're gonna add a can of fire roasted diced tomatoes. We are gonna leave their juice in. The recipe listed several different spices to use. I'm just gonna use taco seasoning because all the spices that it talked about are right in here. So I'm using just about 1.5 tablespoons or so. At this point, we're gonna add our 3 cups of cooked rice. If you are using quinoa, it's 1 cup of uncooked quinoa. I like how that just came out in a little blob. And then we're also gonna add in about half of this cheese. I've got about 1.5 cups of pepper jack cheese that I already shredded. We'll add in about 1/2 of that now, and let's mix this all together. I was just thinking, oh, I should taste this before I put it in. No, Mandy, don't do that. It has raw chicken in it. Let's not taste it before we put it in. We're just gonna trust that it's great. This is done. Let me grab my crock pot. I've got 1/2 cup of water. We're just gonna put this in the bottom. This will help steam our peppers, soften the peppers. And we're gonna take each pepper and we're gonna stuff it with the mixture and place it into the crock pot. I had that extra 1/2 pound of ground chicken, so I've added that in here. I'm gonna add a little more taco seasoning, and this will be great for quesadilla fillings, or we could even do tacos tomorrow night if we wanted to, or tomorrow afternoon. We're not gonna waste any of it. Okay, it's been 3 hours. My crock pot just went over to warm. I am going to test and make sure that the inside of my peppers have reached 165 degrees. We have no problems, folks. They're good. We're gonna take the remaining pepper jack cheese that we had from earlier and just sprinkle it over the top and put the lid back on it and let that melt down, and then it's gonna be time to eat.
How about a stuffed pepper?
How about it? So you can serve this with salsa, with sour cream, hot sauce.
Oh. Yes. I like the Tex-Mex flavors there.
Yeah.
Gotta kick it up a little notch here.
I think I'm gonna grab me some salsa, but yeah.
Yeah, it's really good. It's light. It's very light.
Yeah.
Gonna pair great with a salad.
Yeah,
here.
with our salad, yeah.
So little contrasting flavors there and textures and stuff.
Well, I'm glad you like it. All right.
Good.
I'm gonna dig in. I'm gonna go grab some salsa though. Y'all, I mean, just look how pretty that is. It just looks so good. And then right here next to this salad and my Clemson cup, go Tigers. As I'm eating this, it's delicious, by the way. I'm doing mine with salsa. Steven said, you know what would have taken it over the top? Is if I would have, instead of just doing plain white rice in there, either making the cilantro lime rice and adding it in there, or the Mexican style rice that I make. Both of those recipes, I'll try and remember and link those below if you've never tried them. They're both great. But that would have added an extra level of flavor, but these are very good. This is a winner. If you were making a potato salad to take to an outdoor function, this is the one you'll want to take because it has no mayo. It's tangy and delicious. You've got to try it. So I feel like potato salad is definitely a summer staple. And a lot of times it's hard to make it if you're going to an outdoor thing because it's got mayonnaise in it and you don't want it to be outside heating up because mayo and the sun, not a good combination. So when I found this no mayo potato salad, I thought we would give it a try. The ingredients sound wonderful, so I'm excited. Let's get started. Okay, I really love this because we are going to boil our red potatoes whole, and then we will cut them afterwards. These have already been washed. These are ready to go. I'm dropping them all over the place. I am cutting the original recipe in half, so I'm doing about 1.5 pounds of red potatoes. Let's just fill this with some water. Okay, I covered them about 2 inches above the potatoes. Let's turn this on high and bring these to a boil. We're gonna let them boil for about 15 minutes. Okay, we are waiting on our potatoes to boil. While I do that, I'm gonna slice some red onion. I'm only using about 1/4 of a red onion. Now that that is sliced, we are going to chop up some fresh parsley. We only need about 1 tablespoon for this recipe, so I may have grabbed a little too much. Okay, I'm gonna set that to the side. I'm gonna put this in a little baggie and put it in the fridge since I grabbed too much for sure. I also have some fresh dill here. I'm gonna take it off of the stem. And it also calls for fresh basil. I could not find any at my grocery store, so I'm just gonna be using dried basil, so I'll just use about half of the amount that it tells me to. We need about 1 tablespoon of this fresh dill as well. If you have fresh basil, you'll use about 1 tablespoon. I have the dried, so I'm gonna use about 1/2 tablespoon. Okay, that's our herbs. We will save that until later. Okay, this is starting to boil. We're gonna add about 1/2 teaspoon or so of salt. I'm not gonna measure, I'm just gonna add some salt to this water. Okay, it's been about 15 minutes. Let's check these and make sure they're fork tender. They are. Oh yeah. So let's drain them. Now you could just wait for them to start cooling, but I am gonna run a little bit of cold water over them just to help that out, just a little bit. Because we need to get them cool enough to the touch. They don't have to be cold by any means, but we need to be able to cut them in half. Okay, so these are definitely still warm, but they are cool enough to the touch. It says to half them, but I'm gonna quarter some of the larger ones, and then we're just going to add them over to this bowl. While our potatoes are still hot, we are going to drizzle them with about 1.5 tablespoons of this white wine vinegar. And let's do another half. Now, I'm just gonna go ahead and stir these up just a little bit, and we're gonna let that white wine vinegar absorb and let these cool a little bit longer. We are going to finish up our potato salad. So now let's mix together our dressing that's gonna be poured over. Okay, in this small bowl, I'm going to add about 1/4 cup of olive oil. We need 1 more tablespoon of this white wine vinegar, 1 teaspoon of Dijon mustard, and a little bit of salt and pepper. Okay, let's just whisk that together. All right, our potatoes have cooled. Well, mostly. They're still a little warm, and that's okay, but they're definitely not hot. We're gonna add this dressing over the top, and then we're just gonna toss it gently. Now, this can be served warm, or you can serve it cool. Obviously, we'll put it in the refrigerator for now, and then any leftovers will go in the refrigerator. The recipe says it actually tastes better the second day. Now, to this, we're gonna add our sliced onions. Toss that around. And then lastly, our fresh herbs. There's a bad spot on that potato. Let's cut that off. Fixed it. Okay, so we've got our dill, our parsley, and our basil. And that's just gonna go over top. I'm gonna toss it all together and put the lid on this and put it in the fridge. It'll only be in the fridge for 20, 30 minutes, but y'all, this smells divine.
All right, well, first of all, I wanna get into this chicken, but I'm gonna try these potatoes first.
Okay.
Come on.
There you
Get
go.
some of this onion. All right, here we go. Wow, man, that is amazing.
You don't miss the mayo?
No, I am pleasantly surprised. There is a lot of flavor on this. And it's like a very light, bright, citrusy flavor. And then you've got these herbs that are just lifting it up even more. That is delicious.
Well, I'm so happy. A favorite summer staple in our house is either a kielbasa or chicken sausage and veggie skillet. You can definitely do it in the air fryer too. The one I'm going to show you today I did on the stovetop, but it is so good and so easy. We are having some chicken sausage and vegetables all together in one skillet. We're gonna season it really well. It's gonna be a great summer dish. And then I'm gonna serve it with a side of rice pilaf. Very simple dinner. Let's get started. I recently bought a 3-pack of chicken sausages from Sam's. This is the mozzarella and artichoke, maybe sun-dried tomato. I'm not sure. That's what type this is. It's not a spicy blend. And here are all the vegetables that I've got. I've got 2 red potatoes, a red bell pepper, an orange bell pepper, some red onion, some spices, some garlic, zucchini, and we're just gonna do a very simple boxed rice pilaf. I'm getting started on the rice pilaf first because it has to simmer on the stove for like 25 minutes. So let's get the water going. Okay, the first thing we need to do is cook these potatoes, or put these in the skillet and cook them for like 10 to 15 minutes. So while they're cooking, I will chop up the rest of the veggies. Let's take these over there. Okay, I've got our large skillet here. I'm heating it to medium high. I'm gonna put in a couple of tablespoons of olive oil, and I'm also going to put in 1 tablespoon of butter. We're gonna let that heat up, and then we will add our potatoes and some seasonings in. So I'm having a problem remembering to hit record on the new camera that I got, but I just chopped up our chicken sausage while I was waiting on our olive oil and our butter to come to temperature. Okay, this is nice and hot, so let's add in our potatoes. And we're gonna season them with some garlic powder, some salt, and some pepper. We're just gonna cook these until they are pretty tender. So maybe for like 10 to 15 minutes. We'll come over here and stir them every so often. And while these are cooking, I'm gonna finish chopping up everything else. Okay, these have been cooking for almost 10 minutes. They're getting pretty tender. I'm gonna give them just a couple more minutes. I've been turning them ever so often. In just a minute, what I'm gonna do is take a slotted spoon and just remove all of these out and put them over here in this bowl. And then we will put our chicken sausage in and just brown that up. So I've got these in there in a single layer. I'm just going to let them brown up for 2 to 3 minutes, and then we will add in our other veggies and get those really tender as well. Here's the pack of chicken sausage that we got, and we are using this one tonight, the mozzarella and roasted garlic with artichoke chicken sausage. They also have the honey habanero and Monterey Jack cheese, and the Gouda and pear with savory spices. So this is our first one out of this pack. We really enjoy chicken sausage, just having it on hand, because it makes for really quick and easy dinners. It's been a few minutes. Let's go ahead and add in all of our good veggies. I've got both of our bell peppers, our zucchini, and our red onion. I'm gonna wait for the garlic. I'll put it in towards the very end. You just don't want it to burn. We'll cook this for probably 5 to 7 minutes, just until all of our veggies are tender. I am gonna turn the heat back up just a little bit. I had turned it down to about medium. So let's crank that back up. And we will do some more seasoning at the end. Now that our veggies are pretty tender, I'm gonna add in our garlic. I've got about 2.5 cloves, because one of them was really small. Let's saute this for like 30 seconds to a minute. I've got some Italian seasoning and some everything seasoning. It's this right here from Flavor God. It just says on the recipe to use salt and pepper, but I thought this would be great. Let's go ahead and season this. And let's add our potatoes back in. Just gonna let this kind of sit here, warm through, and in about 2 or 3 minutes, we'll be ready to eat.
Well, this smells amazing. Looks delicious. Look at all the spices on there. All those herbs. Man, oh man. Man, yeah. And those spices and herbs are perfect together. The potatoes are amazing.
Yeah.
They are delicious.
Good, I'm glad.
All of the spices that you have in there, I mean, you definitely get the garlic.
Yeah.
Get that garlic in there with that.
Yeah. I also put some garlic powder in there before you came in, so.
Not much spice, just a touch of spice.
Yeah.
Not much, just enough. Very rich in flavor. There's no blandness at all with this. This is very flavorful. A lot of the aromatic herbs that you have in there are coming through. It's really good.
Well, I'm glad you like it, sweetie. Enjoy. I'm with the guys on this one. This one is delicious. It's got so much flavor packed in there, but yet it's still light in a way. It's not too heavy. This is a really great summer meal. My favorite pasta is Orzo, and this Mediterranean Orzo salad is the perfect side dish for summertime. I definitely don't need all of this onion. I just need just a little bit, just enough for about 2 tablespoons of chopped onion. I think I'm just going to use about half of this cucumber as well. I've got some Kalamata olives here, and it says to roughly chop them, but I bought the kind that's already been pitted and they're already halved, so I don't think I'm going to chop those anymore. Just gonna chop up a little bit of this fresh parsley and then we're done. I'm just gonna cook my Orzo pasta according to package directions. I've got a cup of pasta. This will cook for or boil for 8 to 10 minutes. And then we will drain it and rinse it to cool it down. Start adding in my veggies. I've got my cucumbers and my tomatoes. I've also got my red onion, my Kalamata olives, fresh chopped parsley, I'm going to add in some crumbles of feta cheese. Adding in a little bit of dried oregano, about 1/4 a teaspoon, some salt and pepper, a couple of tablespoons of olive oil, and a couple of tablespoons of red wine vinegar. Before I put this in the fridge, I do want to taste it just to see if the seasonings are right or if we need some more vinegar. I want a little more kick. I'm gonna add a little more vinegar. This is really good. It's a great light option. I can see me making this salad for 4th of July get together this summer. It's a really good one. Last but certainly not least are these salsa ranch chicken wraps. I have a feeling it's going to be delicious. I'm going to put this flour tortilla here on this plate and just top it with some of our shredded chicken. Now you're going to just top it with a little bit of ranch, which this is brand new. I need to open it. About a tablespoon of ranch. Okay. And then a tablespoon of salsa. You can add shredded cheese at this point. I'm just going to use what I have on hand, which is this sliced Colby Jack. But the recipe says that the trick is to the seasoning is adding basil, dried basil, which sounds interesting, but we're going to go with it. And she said to go liberal with the basil, and then also to add a little bit of garlic powder. Now I'm going to top it with my cheese. I'm going to use 1 slice, but I'm just going to half it. You have to do the sound or it doesn't count. And I'm just folding it, kind of rolling it, seam side down. We'll leave it like that. Now let's go over to our skillet. Okay, so I've got my skillet on medium heat. I could probably turn it down just a little bit. I just put a tablespoon of butter in here, and we are gonna place our tortilla in seam side down, and we're just going to brown it on both sides. So I'm gonna leave it here for just a couple of minutes and then we'll flip it. And pay closer attention than I did. I left some of the butter paper on there. I was like, what is that in my pan? Yeah, it was the butter paper. So there's that. And all we're really doing is just kind of crisping it up on the outside and melting that cheese a little bit on the inside, and then it's gonna be time to eat. Our taste tester has tapped out. It's just me. But y'all, this looks so good. If you don't make anything else that I made today, make this. Oh my gosh. This is my new favorite lunch. So I took some, first of all, Cole came and ate half of it. And he said it is the best wrap he's ever had. He took a bite and he was like, then I took some to Steven. I said, just take a bite. He said, that is so good. It reminded him of a quesadilla, and it totally does. It's got that ranch in there though, so it's a little bit different, but y'all gotta make that. If you are looking for more recipes that won't heat up your kitchen, be sure to check out this video right here. I appreciate you being here, and I will see you next time. Bye y'all.